bum ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-da-da-da-dum. I'm going to cut it short tonight because we've got a lot to talk about. I have a lot to get in here tonight. And so good evening, my friends. My name is Jo at Calabrese, and I am here to do one thing and one thing only every Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, and that is to teach you homeopathy so that you have more freedom, so that you don't depend on, synthetics or other professionals. You become the professional. You become the expert. That's what I want to happen here. And so for those of you who already know me, hi, friends. Hi, Mighties. Hello, my friends. We're on X and Rumble, and we're on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and Mighties. And I'll be staying with Monday Night Live until about 20 minutes after 8 Eastern Time tonight. And then I'm going to flip over and go to my Mighties, and then I'm going to Mighties Plus shortly after that, so that I can get deeper and deeper into the details of tonight. Okay, there we are again. So I don't know if you could hear me as I was talking to you. We got it back again. There we go. All righty. So, my friends, let's talk about mosquitoes because we've had a lot of rain and flooding, especially in Florida and the Carolinas and the East Coast. And it happens in many parts of the country from time to time. And so we're inundated with mosquitoes. So let me tell you something. First of all, let me say that last night, Sunday night, I always post my blog. And I talked to you about using Staphysagria. If you did not catch my blog, do take a look at it. As always, it's free information. And it's a great medicine to use before you go out into a mosquito-ridden setting or tick-ridden setting. So anytime there are insects such as those, and you know you're going to be around them a great deal, then we use Staphysagria. And I love this medicine because you can use it in advance if you know. Now, it does not mean that if your child is playing outside every day that you give the child Staphysagria every single day. We don't want to overuse these medicines. But if you know that it's going to be particularly a bad day or you've run out of your essential oil that you might use in order to protect and keep the mosquitoes at bay, etc., then it might be a very good opportunity to use Staphysagria. And so check out my blog and see exactly how I say to use it. I won't go into it right now because I've got another way to look at it, okay? We've got another way. Now, what I'm looking at is Robin Murphy's Meta Repertory, 4th edition. Doesn't matter if you have 3rd or 4th. And there are other repertories too, but I happen to like Robin Murphy's. I have a lot of respect for his work. And I go to the clinical section. That's towards the back of the book. And I look under bites. Bites. Well, what kind of bites? There are flea bites. There are leech bites. There are rat bites, scorpion bites, snake bites, etc. But we are most interested, my friends, in mosquito bites. And so, mosquitoes. There are 4 main medicines that we can use for mosquito bites. Now, that's assuming that we already have the bite. We're already suffering from the itching. And so one of the best medicines, once we've gotten it already, is caladium, C-A-L-A-D-I-U-M, caladium. Isn't homeopathy lyrical? The sound of the medicines, because they're Latin, have a beautiful song-like sound to them. Caladium. Caladium. C-A-L-A-D-I-U-M. But I don't want you to forget another one, Ledum palastrum. So those two are our main medicines for if someone has been bitten by mosquito bites and they are itching and they're uncomfortable. And so I'm going to tell you what the others are as well. Where are we? Back to mosquito. Okay, mosquitoes. Caladium, Ledum, Hypericum, and Staphysagria. And if the itching is really intense and there happens also to be burning, caladium is the essence of all the medicines. That is number one. Now, what if we don't know that they're mosquitoes? What if we just don't know what it is? We're just getting bitten. Maybe they're fleas. So if we look at fleas, bites by fleas, and that can happen certainly in the grasses without really knowing. Now we look at Baptisia is one. Caladium is very big. Calcarea carbonicum, grindola, Hypericum, Ledum, Pulix, and Staphysagria. But caladium is still number one. So even if we don't know what it is, it might be fleas, it might be mosquitoes, I would go with caladium would be my first choice, and my next choice, or in addition to that, would be Ledum. Now, how do we use this? How do we utilize this knowledge? So, all right, we know it's caladium is a very good choice, and we know that Ledum is also a very good choice. Now, what do? We don't know the potency, right? What's the frequency? So, I don't like to go too high a potency. Low potency, as far as I'm concerned, is 3C, 6C, 12C. Could be X's, 3X, 6X, 12X. I like 30C or 30X, sometimes 200, but I don't think it's necessary, my friends. I think that if we stay at a lower potency, like a 3, a 6, or a 12, we can utilize, or even a 30, we can, we can use the medicine more frequently. We can go ahead and use it maybe every 15 minutes for the first hour, and then after that, maybe every hour after that. And if you find that you've given the medicine in, say, a 3, a 6, a 12, and maybe even a 30, every 15 minutes for the first hour, now you want to see how bad is that itching nowadays. The page that I'm on is page 2104 in Robin Murphy's Repertory 4th edition. So if you're using it every 15 minutes for the first hour, and then you say, you know what, it's a little, I think it's calmed down. The itching is not so, the bumps are still there. You can see the bites. There might be still that swelling, but we're not itching, or it's not itching as much. We're not going mad with itching. And I personally have had times when I've had maddening itching. And for me, it was especially, I had an event, and I've talked about this before, when I was in the ocean and there were no seams. I was at the shore of the ocean in the Bahamas, and the bites that I got were profuse, covered, top to bottom, head to toe. Had no idea what no-see-ums were. I was a very young person at the time, and I was bitten pretty intensely. And I did not have Robin Murphy's repertory because there was no such thing. I had Kent's repertory, which is up there somewhere. I think it's up here. That could be, it might be this one. Kent's repertory, and we're not, there is no rubric specifically for no-see-ums or for bites such as that. And so because it was so intense, the itching was not only very intense, but it felt like my whole body was buzzing with being overstimulated, and I was extremely restless from all the bites I had all over my face, all over my torso, my legs, my arms. It was really very intense. The medicine that I used, and I'm going to tell you about this one, and we don't find it exactly here as we're looking at these medicines for mosquitoes or even for fleas, because it is very specific for when the itching takes on an allergic reaction. It's so extreme that the whole person becomes restless. The itching is maddening. And then I used arsenicum album. And I believe I used it probably in a 30 or a 200. I don't remember. It was, I don't know, 40 years ago when that happened to me. 40, 50 years ago, something like that. And so you would use that for when it's gotten past itchy mosquito bites. We're now into pathology. We're now into allergic reaction. Okay? So would you use caladium prophylactically? I don't think I would. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I would start to see, I would use Staphysagria prophylactically and caladium as needed for this specific itching. If a dog is itching, would you give it caladium? Okay, my friends, please help answer this question from Lynchburg, Virginia, because I know there are many of you here who are in my classes, have studied with studied with me in my gateway classes, etc., and have been following me for some time. Let's see what people say. If a dog is itching, would you give it caladium? So let's see what people come up with. Now, let me say that if the question is the dog is itching, end of discussion, it has nothing to do with fleas, has nothing to do with mosquitoes, then it's a different thing. We're not talking about just an itch. We're talking about insect bites. That's why what I wanted to show you is that this section is on bites. Bites. So this is from an insect that has bitten someone. Yes, it matters not. Thank you, Catherine. It matters not if it's plants, pets, or people. It matters not. Same remedy if it's from a bite, if the itching is as a result of the bite. Histamine, would that be appropriate if you experience allergic reaction? Amy, great question. I did not have histamine with me that day when I had the terrible reaction, but it was a histamine reaction. There's no doubt about it. Yes, histamine is a very good remedy choice. And I would just have it on hand. If someone in your family has allergic reactions such as this, and you're not sure, should I give arsenicum? Should I give caladium? Should I give ledum? I don't know what to do. Histamine them, and it brings the histamine reaction down. Yes. Dog, cat, human. Yes. Thank you, Karen. Yes. If the symptoms fit, says Vicky. Yes, says Karen. Yes, Phoenicia, you can give a dog, a cat, etc. It matters not, my friends, if the circumstances are the same, whether it's an infant, a child, a teenager, a pregnant woman, a middle-aged man, an elderly man, a goat, a dog, a cat, chickens, ducks, camels, llamas. The medicines are the same when it's the same condition. Arsenicum worked for a wasp sting when the person felt poisoned. Thank you, Noreen. That is the big issue with arsenicum album. Arsenicum album is a medicine that in which the person feels poison. And I must admit, I felt poisoned that day. It was beyond just regular insect itching. I felt almost out of body. I use homeopathy with my cats all the time, says Kimberly. You bet, all the time. The amount of money you can save on vet bills by knowing how to use homeopathy, my friends, is amazing. If the itch is severe, give caladium versus ledum. Yes, I would do that. I would definitely do that. I would be more inclined to use caladium for the itching than I would for ledum. Now, remember, ledum is all about a piercing of the skin. So it could be an insect of any sort. Could be a wasp, a honeybee, could be a mosquito. So it's about getting the venom or the poison of sorts of an insect injected into the skin is ledum nipalis. My 2-year-old started getting hives from mosquito bites this summer. Antimonium crude 6 helped with the hives. Calcarb 30 uprooted the allergic reaction. April, my dear, you must be one of my students because that's exactly what I teach. Or you have my course called Allergic. You're absolutely right. Now, these are not, what I'm talking about now is not for urticaria or hives. What April's talking about is a different reaction. It's not just itching. Now they're hives. Hives are different. Urticaria is different. As soon as we see hives or urticaria, now we're looking at what are the symptoms, hives or urticaria, and we're going to use a different medicine. And that's why April so wisely used antimonium crude. She could also have used, let's hear what everybody else knows. What do you know we would use if there were hives? And antimonium crude didn't act, although I'm sure that it did. You bet. I've uprooted so many of my cat's issues and using them for asthma now. You bet. Remember my dog Katie, asks Donna Jean. Hi, Donna Jean. You cured her with a homeopathic remedy, and Lily when she was scared of the thunder. Yeah. Yes. Thanks for showing up, Donna. It's nice to know that you're here. Paula says Apis is great for hives. Click, click, click. Is great for hives. That's absolutely right. And also besides, thank you, what are we doing? Urtica urens is great for hives. Apis can be used for hives or Urtica urens. Now, that's not exactly what we're talking about right now, but that is what it's kind of maybe a meta conversation. It's an associated conversation there because we can have many other reactions. If someone is bitten by insects and then they have an asthma attack, my friends, these medicines are not exactly on the mark as you might think. We're talking about itching. Caro Mont, there can be many causes for coughs in cats. You're right. Finally found you, said Donna Jean. Yeah, it's great to see you. All righty, what else do we have here? Let's see if we've got any other questions. Greetings from Deborah in Wichita. She says antimonium crude. Antimonium crude is a beautiful medicine for itching, particularly if it turns into a rash. So mosquito bites, we often think of mosquito bites as separate little bumps that are itchy, or they can even get larger. But if they become welty and now they're it's presenting not just where the mosquito bit, but in other areas as well, all throughout the body. Then now we're talking about urticaria or hives. Comment from Instagram. My son's entire body swells up from mosquito bites. They itch, but not intensely. Would I use arsenicum? Entire body swells. I can't tell you exactly what to use, but if you look at some of these questions here, that is a histamine response. So I'm going to suggest to you, I don't have the person's name who wrote this in from Instagram. I suggest that you go back up and look at what people are talking about in terms of histamine responses. Okay, can I take arsenicum after I drink a glass of wine that causes some inflammation in my feet, hot and red? Isn't this a type of poisoning? It is a type of poisoning, but I would call it a food intolerance. I would not call it necessarily a poisoning. I would call that a food intolerance. So no, I would not necessarily use arsenicum unless you have arsenicum type symptoms. And how would you know that? You would go to your Materia Medica and page through, get to Arsenicum album, read up on it, and see how it fits. Now, if you don't have a Materia Medica, no problem. You go online and just read and look up and read from there. There are two wonderful Materia Medicas besides my own. If you happen to have mine, that's a great thing to use as well. But you can also go and get one for free. Just to it's not a download. You're just opening up their site. By Boricke, Dr. Boricke, and the Boericke, and Dr. Fatak, two separate books that are Materia Medicas that are written by two great doctors of century old. You will enjoy having access to those books. Comment. Okay, here we go. Replying to Kimberly. Kimberly says, "Oh, hi, Kimberly. Was told to you it was asthma. He is a rescued cat." What? Okay. Somebody's talking about coughing. Let's see. Arsenicum crude, great for cold sores too. Yes, it is, because antimonium crude, great for cold sores too. Antimonium crude is a great skin medicine. It's just one of our great medicines for skin. Yes, thank you. All right. Oh, Dr. Nash. Yes, you're absolutely. That's another very good Materia Medica. What if mosquitoes just love you and bite even through the clothes? Then we're back to prophylactic. Remember, now that's in my blog from last night that I published last night. If you haven't found my blog, my friends, every Sunday night we publish. We've been doing it every Sunday for 14 plus years. That means 14 years times 52 weeks per year. We have that many subjects with exact condition, with the exact medicine, the exact potency, and the exact frequency, all laid out for you, and you can just download it for free. So, before you leave tonight, will you be talking about shingles? My Sil got it in her eye. No, we won't be talking about shingles. That's a whole different subject. I have talked about it, however, on my blog. So I would urge you to do so, to take a look. Now, on the blog, as usual in most situations like this, if you're looking up shingles, you go Joette Calabrese shingles, and if it doesn't show up, you might want to do this, Joette Calabrese herpes. So you need to know some synonyms, and you can of course look those up online. Oh, someone recommended Mosquito, says Mindy. I recommend Mosquito. It's not that readily available. I've had amazing results using it. Yeah, it worked for me with some kind of bug in the grass. The bites were driving me nuts. I tried Mosquito. That's spelled MOZI-Q, the letter Q. It took 2 doses, but then it was gone. Yes, here we go. And she's even got the site. It's www.mozi-q.com. It's a great combination medicine. I really like that medicine. And that is not as readily available as some of these others. So I'm glad you brought that up, Mindy. Good thinking. Replying to Kimberly. Okay, there we go. I read dengue is affecting people even in Italy now. Listen, my friends, be wary of the media. Be very wary. There are constant scare tactics. Do I think that disease can't be in Italy? Take it with a grain of salt. You know, I used to work for NBC back in the 80s, and within a month of my leaving NBC, after what I saw there with the media and how they manipulated the sales department, which is where I was in marketing, I bought a bumper sticker and I put it on the back of my car in 1984, I think it was. It said, "Kill your television," because of what I saw going on in the media back then. So, my friends, be very wary of what the media is telling you about diseases. Okay, my friends, we are going to now go to Mighty's, and then we are going to go on to Mighty's Plus after that. Stay with me for those who are Mighty's, my friends, and I'll see all the rest of you next week. Love you all. Take care. Okay, my Mighty's. Hi.